have many talents. Thank you for doing double and triple duty tonight. Our scripture tonight comes from the Bible, but also from the last chapter in our Lenten study book that some of us are studying on Wednesday nights, called It's Hard to Dance with the Devil on Your Back. Wonderful title that comes from a song we're going to sing in a few minutes in our hymnal called The Lord of the Dance. One of the verses in there it says it's hard to dance with the devil on your back. Now there's two verses for this particular chapter that we're looking at and we're going to be looking at tonight. We're going to be using it on Sunday also. The verse that was not read tonight is from the book of Revelation. You have to come Sunday to hear what that is. That's a wonderful message too, and it will tie in very much with what the hands of glory are going to do on Sunday. The other one is the one that Stephanie read tonight from the Gospel of Matthew. And what great words they are. Whenever I hear or read the words that Matthew shares about being salt and being light, I think what a wonderful symbolism and how easy it is to understand that with those simple symbols of salt and light. We know both of those. We know that salt adds flavor. And so when Jesus says, I need you to add a little flavor to the world, we know exactly what that means because we know salt adds flavor, adds energy and things like that. We know that light is a wonderful symbol that brings us knowledge and inspiration in the midst of darkness. So those are wonderful images that Jesus uses and Matthew records, that Jesus talks with folks about and saying, be the salt and be the light. So I understand those. But it's hard to dance with the devil on your back. Sometimes it's hard to be the salt of the earth, and sometimes it's hard to share light in the midst of the darkness. It's hard to dance with the devil on your back. And what we're going to look at tonight, just for a few moments, we're going to look at the devil as being those imperfections that we live with, those burdens that we carry, those disabilities that we have, those things in our lives that unlike the beads that free us up, the beads that tie us and seem to bind us and hold us from being the salt and being the light. So let's assume that Jesus is sharing with us a very clear message that we are to be the light of the world. We are commissioned as disciples to go into the places in the world where there's darkness, and we are the ones to bring the light. We are the ones commissioned to do that. But it's hard to dance with the devil on your back. It's hard to bring light when you yourself feels much darkness. And you think, you know, God, you asked me to be light, but there's too much darkness in my life. There's too many things I'm carrying. There's too many burdens. There's too many ways I'm imperfect. One of the things that happens to us as we gain age is that our bodies become less perfect. We take on the things that happen as we grow older. Illnesses, disease, disabilities, burdens. And we carry those, and God still says, but I want you to be my light. I want you to be my light in spite of that. I want you to move others. I want you to inspire others. I want you to carry my light as best you can with whatever it is you carry into the world. It's hard to dance with that devil on your back. It's hard to see through those things that seem to dim our light, those things that are like weights that are placed upon us. Sometimes we become so focused on those challenges that we face that we simply forget. It's not a matter that we're being bad people. We just sometimes forget that even in the midst of those, we're called to be the light. I face those times in my life. I know you face those times. And when I do that, I need some inspiration. I need to be reminded that the burdens I carry, the imperfections that are a part of my life, the disabilities that have come upon me, need not be ones that keep me from sharing and fulfilling my commission to share Christ's light. So I brought a little inspiration for us tonight. It's a inspiration that comes from a young man that Steve told me about and sent me some information about. And I want to read a little bit about who he is, and then we're going to watch him for just a few moments. His name is Durgan Tokmak. I hope I'm saying that right. He was born in 1973 in Augsburg, Germany. He contracted polio when he was 1 year old. Poliomyelitis is a virus that attacks the nerves that control your muscles. In Durgan's case, he lost the control of his left leg and some control of his right. He spent much of his childhood in German hospitals undergoing treatments to attempt to restore the full use of his legs, to no avail. Always a survivor, Durgan learned to walk on his hands. When he was 12 years old, a cousin bought him the movie Breakin'. I haven't seen that movie. It's about 2/3 into the movie that there's a solo performed by Eddie Handyman Rodriguez. He's a break dancer who has no use of his legs. He performs on 4-arm crutches as well as some dizzying floor work. Durgan was inspired by that dance, and he developed his own dancing style on crutches. So we're going to watch Durgan just for a few moments here. It's kind of a long clip. We'll just see, kind of feel for when it's time to... amazing, isn't it? I've seen that many times now, and I just sit there and I watch it. It's amazing. You know, I've seen other videos and, of course, known other inspirational people that have various disabilities and different abilities, and it always is inspirational to me. And to put it in simple terms, when I see something like that, it just reminds me, in the midst of my complaining and whining and my pity party for things that are happening to me in ways that I seem to be more bogged down than I used to be, I just look at things like this and I think, you know, we all have the ability to share the light of Christ in some way. It may not be in the same way we shared it 20 years ago. It may not be with the same gifts and skills that other people have that seem to be able to share the light of Christ. But we can still do that. I'm going to share a little more about this on Sunday with the Hands of Glory, who is a sign language choir. They use American Sign Language, and they use movement and dance with that. I'm going to share a little bit about Sunday about how they touched my life a few years ago as a hearing impaired person, to see them and to see what they do. They are not, well, I don't know this for sure. I don't know if any of them are deaf or hard of hearing. There may be some of them, but what they're doing is using their gifts to share the light of Christ with others, and it is inspirational. It is a reminder to me and hopefully to you that even amidst our imperfections and our different abilities that we now have as we continue to grow older and as our lives change and as things come upon us, however imperfect it may be, and in spite of the burdens that we carry, we can light someone's house. And that's something that I need to remember, and maybe we all need to remember. I think, well, I can't do it like I used to. Or, wow, with this particular thing, don't know if I can do it at all. You will be the light. You will be the light to someone's house. Never underestimate the power of the light that's placed in you that can be illuminated through you. And that's what Jesus says in Matthew. He says, you are the light of the world. Don't hide it. And especially don't hide it if something happens along the way and you think, there's no way I can share it anymore. You can. And keep sharing it. That's our message for tonight. Keep on dancing no matter what. Now we're going to try to sing a song together.